Hello there, folks, and here's to a wondrous, adventurous new year. The best is soon to come. So when you think about new beginnings, new starts, and it's a new year, what do you wish to see? What do you wish to become? Just speak them out loud. Whatever it is, speak them out loud. Speak them boldly, sort of like you're declaring it. What do you plan to achieve? Write it down. Pray to God about it. Declare it out loud. You have to convince the universe that what you dream to be, that you can make a reality. So that's the way to do that. When you say, I plan to achieve this and that, but you don't plan it out. Planning, you have to have it written down. Like write down some goals to sort of the steps of how you're going to get to what you want to become this year. Or, you can just say, like, I want to be a millionaire by the end of the year and do nothing about it. And it will be just like all the other, what do you call them? Resolutions that all go tumbling down because you haven't written them down, you haven't declared them into the universe. You haven't convinced your mind to get that going in that direction. One step at a time, one step at a time. And then you start having small successes, and that will lead to bigger successes, and your confidence grows. And then you realize that you truly can achieve your dreams. They aren't really dreams, they're plans. But that you have it as a goal. And pray to God, make sure that it aligns with the life that you are claiming, that you wish to live, and be the change that you wish to see. I mean, these things are thrown around on memes and bumper stickers, and they almost sound cliche, but they're true. They're true. Write it down. I am going to be that change that I complain about. I'm going to be the one that makes it better. And don't use that old cop-out, that old excuse. Talk about cliches. Well, one man can't make a difference. Bull crap. George Washington made a difference. He was one man. Ben Franklin made a big difference. He was one man. Ronald Reagan made a big difference. He was one man. Donald Trump is making a huge difference. He's one man. One man can make a huge difference. So don't buy into that crap. So you're going to achieve what you want to achieve, or don't. It's free will again. But I say, be full of wonder. And remember, the poorly overused word, the sadly misused term, awesome, actually means filling you with awe. Don't use it for your new shoes. Don't use it for a good grade. Oh, I got an A in English. That's awesome. No. It's great. It's good. Congratulations. Just use the right word for the right thing. And your dreams should fill you with awe, and achieving them should be a reward in itself. And also, if you've written down, let's say you've written down a list of 10 things you want to achieve and a time period. I'm going to do this by the end of the week. And then the following week, I'm going to do this and that, and list them out. And as you achieve it, you check it off. If you don't achieve it in that time frame that you've planned, then go ahead and ask yourself, why? Why didn't I? We've all had dreams. Write down a resolution that you made last year. And write down underneath that whether it came true or not, whether you made it come to fruition. If so, yay, have a party, celebrate a victory. If not, write down why it didn't happen realistically. So yeah, you can be filled with excitement that every year that you plan out better is going to get better. And it takes work. And if you find something that brings joy to your life, it's not going to feel like work. And there you go. So what do you want to achieve this year? And don't just say, I'm gonna. Well, you say whatever you want to say. It's your future, but make some of the goals realistic, so that you can achieve them, so you can check them off, and you get that reward of knowing that you, a sovereign member of mankind, you have the power to achieve your goals. And that will set you up to realize there's bigger goals than I had even imagined previously. And you'll grow and grow. And you'll grow into the power that God says you have. So that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I just finished reading an amazing novel. It was written in the late 40s, published in the early 50s. Ayn Rand wrote it. A-Y-N, Ayn Rand, is R-A-N-D, R-A-N-D, Ayn Rand. And she was quite an incredible mind of the last century. I mean, just amazing how she could see this book, Atlas Shrugged. It's a novel. I don't really read novels very often at all. I usually read histories or different kind of books, or the Bible, and philosophy and things like that, and histories I like a lot, some science. So you can expand your mind. Don't read junk. Don't fill your brain with junk. If you're watching TV, you're filling your brain with junk. If you're watching movies, 9 times out of 10, junk, junk, junk. Oh, well, I watch the A&E network. Okay. So, there might, like I said, one out of 10, you might be learning something new. But then you have to have those ridiculous commercials. Don't get me started. So anyway, Atlas Shrugged, also they made it into 3 books. The first one maybe 10 years ago. I mean, they made it into 3 movies. The third one is about 6 years old. But read the book. You need this. This is another one of those things. It sounds like a cliche. Really read the book first. Hollywood really fought these movies being made, so they couldn't make them all at once. So they're great movies, but if you don't have the core of the book, of the knowledge, it's a long novel. It's over 1,000 pages long. Okay, that's why they made it into 3 movies, I think, and even then they have to skip stuff because Ayn Rand was a mind, an amazing brain, and what she puts into the book you can't put into an hour and 20 minutes of acting. So read the book. I'm telling you, it relates to these times we're living in. It's incredible that it was written 70 years ago. And yet it's so current in what's happening in this world about free will, socialism, people finding excuses why they just didn't resist and they just went along, and how they got distracted, and how it was always someone else's fault, and how they taught them how not to think, and how the people that did have brains, well, read the book. I'm not going to tell the story here and ruin it. It's great. It's the best novel I've read since The Lord of the Rings. Oh, The Lord of the Rings? Well, that's a big book. Yeah, it's time. I'm going to reread it. I first read The Hobbit when I was in 6th grade. And then by 7th grade, I discovered, wow, this guy wrote 3 other books. It's really The Lord of the Rings is one book. But because there was restrictions on paper and stuff like that back then, they published it in 3-book form. And then The Hobbit actually is more of a kid's story. Also beautiful and amazing. The Lord of the Rings is all about the cabal and what's going on right now. And that's why if you haven't read it ever, you need to read it. And if you haven't read it recently, I think it's time to reread it with the knowledge that we have now of what's happening in the world. You patriots will know what I'm talking about. Get The Lord of the Ring, J.R.R. Tolkien. Amazing. As a matter of fact, he and I share a birthday, January 3rd. Wasn't I excited? I didn't learn that for maybe 8 or 9 years after I initially read The Hobbit. And then he fast became my favorite author, and still is, J.R.R. Tolkien. How did he do it? How did he do it? I remember in 6th grade telling my friends, oh, I swear he had to go there. He had to go to Middle Earth in order to write. Somehow he went to Middle Earth to write this story because it was so real. Oh, thank you, J.R.R. Tolkien. So it's time to reread it, because where do the orcs, the evil ones, dwell? In the tunnels under the ground. Who's the good ones that are supposed to be defending? That would be the wizards, like almost like angels. And then one turns kind of sour, thinks he's going to help the evil one. And then some of the men turn evil. Some of them stay good and fight for what's right. And then there's some, they just want to get left alone. you know, just leave us alone. We're fat and happy. We're growing our tobacco and sitting on our porches and rocking away, swimming in the creek maybe some, and growing our food and drinking our ale and having fun. That's the hobbits. They don't want to get pulled into all this trouble that they don't know. The only reason they hadn't gotten pulled into the trouble is because other people had been fighting their battles for them. And when they decided they could fight some of their battles themselves, they realized they're a lot more tenacious and just downright tough, just really, than a lot of the ones who were fighting for them. We're all made of tougher stuff than we at first realize. So there's 2 books for your first couple of months of your new year. Great minds of great mankind, they read books, they learn new things. And if you're going to read a novel that has lessons in it. Don't fill it with junk. Romance novels. Stop it. Oh boy. Superhero comics do not count. I'm sorry. They can be fun. Don't count it as something you're reading to learn important things. Just, you know what I'm talking about. So what do you think is going to happen this year? Are you ready for changes? Are you ready to grow? Are you ready to learn? I think we're going to learn so much this year. Get ready. It's going to be like riding a hurricane, riding maybe a great ship, one of those tall ships in the pirate times, through a gale. But if everyone kept their heads organized and didn't lose their minds to fear, those ships could go through incredible storms. You need to know how to set your sail to adjust. No matter which way the wind's blowing, go. Set your sails. Don't fight every single thing. Don't have like a constant knee-jerk reaction. Think about it. Solve it. If there's something you don't like, don't just go on Facebook and yell and scream, and it's a plain term, bitch about it. Find a solution or two this year. Each of us have to take the responsibility that as part of mankind, each of us is responsible to help make the place better, make the world better, make your local community better, help a neighbor, help your family, help your friends. Yes, help yourself. Keep your health good. We have amazing immune systems that God gave us. Our bodies are millions of cells, constantly being replaced and repaired, mostly replaced. And you don't have to tell every cell to repair itself. God's done that for us to free us so that we can, heal the sick, cast out the demons, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, help one another, Encourage people who are upset. Give each other a hug. Cut it out with that 6-foot distance stuff. That's foolishness. Foolishness. When we didn't know what was going on, it made sense. But after a couple of weeks, they knew it was not any more contagious than a cold. This CCP flu, supposed pandemic, it's just a word they threw out there because it's scary sounding. Just look, the tests are picking up every kind of flu, all kinds of microbes that we have in our bodies. Always have, always will. Like I said, we have these immune systems that are at total warfare all day long, all through our bodies. And as long as you stay positive and loving and learn how to heal yourself and ask God for healing when you need it, and eat pure foods, be aware that they have been trying to make us sick, to keep us tired, to keep us having to go on pharmaceuticals, which just make us sicker. You ever hear the side effects of these drugs? Have you ever noticed that these drugs are all they talk about on every other commercial? And then they do the supersonic list of all the side effects. Gee, some of them sound worse than the condition they were supposedly going to treat. Gee, maybe that's not by accident. Maybe all those preservatives and dyes in the food and the friggin' cereals that we've been giving kids. I ate tons of that crap myself. I haven't for years. It took a lot of work to get them to list the ingredients, and they still don't play honest with us. There's a lot of stuff hidden in those names of things that they put on the ingredients list. And then they all sound so foreign sounding. Instead of saying what they are, they use the scientific term. Because if they just said what it really was, it'd be so gross, no one would ever want to eat it. Also, a lot of the stuff in the highly processed food was originally industrial waste, and factories had to pay for it to get hauled away, and then they realized, wow, we can treat this with lime or that and this, and then we can call it a preservative, and we can call it a food coloring, an artificial flavor. Okay, so be aware that the big corporations, and some of them present themselves as caring about people because that is how you sell your products. They are not out for your wellness. Just be aware of that. There's a goal for you. Be more aware of what you put in your body. Everyone has different goals. But I know that one was one that helped me a lot. It doesn't mean, I only eat three things or something like that. I eat lots of fun food. I was a chef for, 30 years. I can whip up some good stuff. So I know how to make good food. And I can make really rich food. So anyway, just be aware. Just be more aware. Be more aware of your surroundings. I see people that are almost like zombies when they're out. They don't look around them. They don't know what's going on. We have to learn how to interact again. We're going to have to relearn that. It was what the the initial plan was with this fear of the scamdemic. Yes, there's really flu germs that go around, but it's also a 98%, 98.9%, 98.59, something like that, survival rate. And then I just heard them bragging on the vaccine, saying it's 95% effective. Think about that. Your just natural immune system is more effective. You take the vaccine, it lowers your chances of fighting off the flu. I mean, they're trying to tell us, wake up. For the love of Moses, wake up. Oh, so it's going to be a great year. It really is amazing. And we get to go along for the ride. And we get to also influence where it's going. And we get to make some of the changes as well. Be the changes. We are the changes. It's amazing. God has blessed each and every one of us to be alive right here, right now, this very moment. Just remember to honor God. Remember, we have the spark of the Almighty Creator of the universe inside us. Each and every one of us is a child of God. Be a little Christ-like one. Who else is remembered over 2,000 years after they lived and worshipped and loved and sung about and danced about and painted about 2,000 years after they lived, after they walked the earth? God did good that day when he sent that one down for us, when he came down and walked like a man for us. Thank you. Thank you, God. Wow. Folks, I hope you have a great year, and I hope you don't live in fear. And I hope you remember, God thinks you're dear. You're his dearest one. We're all the dearest ones. Don't ever doubt it. And if you do, ask Papa. Ask Papa. Just ask him. Say, Papa, am I the apple of your eye? Am I still doing right by you? Oh, I love you, Papa. I love you, Papa. Live in the light. Live in the light, folks. There's great things coming. There's great things happening right now. You need to cleanse your brain and open your mind. I do like to say, keep an open mind, but don't keep it so far open that your brain falls out. You don't have to buy every single theory, and there's a lot of different ideas and opposing thoughts. You can find every single different kind of opinion. I filter it through, is that what God teaches? I study the Bible, okay? But merely this way, I just read it every day. I just read it every day. I've made it my first thing that I do. Wake up, I practice the harp. This is just since about Christmas, since a couple of weeks before Christmas. But the harp part. Normally I got up, read the Bible. If I had to get up a half hour earlier than normal to read the Bible for a half hour, that's what I did when I had a regular job. Before I just started going full time on building my business. That's freeing too. But God's been good to me. 2020, I don't know, people was saying how horrid it was. Well, I didn't watch any news, so it wasn't that horrid to me. And I got free. Free indeed. And I was able to learn so much more, so much faster. But you make the time. You make the time. Everyone says I don't have the time. Then when they get home from work, they plop on the couch for 4 hours, watch TV. But they don't have the time to read the Bible for a half hour? How does that work? Or you roll out of bed, you just have enough time to jump in the shower, do your bathroom business, and you run off to work, maybe grab a donut somewhere on the way in. And all you need to do is set your alarm clock a half hour earlier. I used to get up an hour and a half before I had to get to work, and I had to work a 12-hour shift from 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. But you get your half-hour lunch, so it's called a 12-hour shift. But you're there for 12 and a half hours, okay? I got up an hour and a half early so I could make a decent breakfast and read the Bible and do all the others, So, it's just about priorities. Write them down. Again, write them down. And remember to approach God like a child. Like a child approaches a Christmas tree. Wow. On my morning walk today, all of a sudden I heard this right near this little brook. All of a sudden there's a scurrying around through this brush, and a little red squirrel, not the regular gray one, a red squirrel sort of between a chipmunk and a gray squirrel in size. He didn't hear me because the stream, and all of a sudden I startled him, and he kind of got stuck in this little pucka brush area. And then he got up into a tree, and he didn't feel scared anymore, and he just sat there and watched me for a little while. And I went, that kind of got his attention. Anyway, to me, that's a gift. And I just thank God to see this little creature. It's pretty rare around in the red squirrel. Yeah, he's out in the woods. This wasn't really in the woods. This was just on my in-town walk that I do every morning. Although our town is completely in the middle of the woods, so there's plenty of woods all around and plenty of wildlife. It's a beautiful place to live up here, northern Maine. So pretty close to Canada. Oh, Canada, eh? And we have a lot of the Frenchmen. They live around here. Because I think this part of Maine was part of Canada a couple hundred years ago. But anyway, so yeah, I gave thanks because every day, if you look and you approach it with the wonder that today I'm alive, I have godly purpose, I am a child of the Most High God, creator of the universe. And he loves me. He loves me. He wants me to talk to him. He wants to talk to me. He wants to spend quality time with just this guy right here. Look at this guy. Why would he even want to talk to me? But he does. Oh, he does. It's so good. So if you approach every day like that, there's no drudgery, and find something you like to do, and it's a blessing, and you'll be a blessing to others. So have a great, wondrous, loving year. Tune out negativity. If you wake up, as they say, with a hair across your ass on the wrong side of bed, ask God to help you. Find joy that day. Or declare it. I will find happiness today. If I have to jump up and down like a little kid, and run in a circle and sing a silly old kid song, just for a moment to laugh, do it. Just do it. Just because you're an adult doesn't mean you can't approach God as a child, because you're his child. Now, I'm not saying, run around and have a hissy fit all day. That's not being a child like I'm talking about. Too many people are being a child like that. No, it's the wonder. Children are always excited by everything is new. Everything is new. Well, each day, don't get tired and stale. Let it affect you like that little red squirrel. And then there was other things. There was ducks flying over my head. Just branches blowing and scraping against each other. Made almost like a little song. You just take time and notice. You know what? I stopped for just a few minutes and looked at how the ice along a stream had formed into almost like the bubbles from the water just churning up through, and it hadn't frozen over, but there was like these little ice bubbles all along the edges of the stream. And it was just beautiful. It sparkled, and it was sunny today, so they were sparkling. Just notice little things and give thanks. Give great thanks. Everything is there to teach us something. And to help us enjoy life. All right, so you folks have a great new year. Have a great evening, and keep doing good deeds, because that's the state that allows us to grow so powerful, goodly, and godly. Don't forget that how well loved you are. And if you liked this video, go ahead, and if it's on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. And if you subscribe to my channel, you'll get a notification every time I post a new video. I think from what I've heard that if you do that, if you like it or do the thumbs up, over time this helps it to be seen by more people. And really, in the end, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get the information out there. That's what a lot of people are trying to do right now. And this is the new news. And there's no reason all news isn't like this, except the little devils didn't want it to be positive. They didn't want us to know our power. And they didn't want God to be involved in anything, because they hate God. Yeah. think about what they've tried to teach us for years through movies and ads and the TV shows and the news. Danger, 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 danger. It's all so fleeting, isn't it? You might as well just hide in the basement under a blanket. No, don't ever leave your house. It's too scary out there. It's dangerous. What lies? What utter foolishness. Look, we're Americans. And if you're not in the United States of America, okay, then we're part of mankind. We don't grovel. We don't live in fear. Got it? We're good. We help each other. Yeah, you have to look out for yourself. Of course, you do. Because you need to take care of yourself. Part of that is not being afraid. Loving. That's why God taught us these things. Because it strengthens you. You know, it enriches our lives. It builds up our immune systems. It keeps us goodly. It keeps us helping each other. Just that being upbeat and being positive, not in a fake way, but in a real way. You know, sometimes life can be serious. There's tons of stuff happening. I don't live in a walled off community. I don't have guards to keep me out of harm's way. I mean, I have God. What else do you need? You know, people can be mean to me. Life isn't always fair, but I count my blessings and I bind my curses and I cast them away from me. And you can do it too. We're meant to do it. We all do it. We're meant to do it. It's our state of being. Our intended state of being. So you are well loved. God loves you. I do too. I pray for your healing. I pray for your happiness. I pray for endless energy to be for you to use it to help others, to teach others. Learn from me, learn from the others, and then teach others about the goodness of God. Therefore, the goodness of mankind. When we have it all aligned properly. All right, so that's it for today, and I hope that you are finding these helpful. And if you don't, there's tons of other people out there. And, find people that, I've heard the word resonate, or that you can relate to. Resonate sounds a little woo-woo, but it's well intended. If that sounds too woo-woo for you, I don't know what to tell you. You find people, as they say, birds of a feather flock together. Find people that share commonalities with you, that have interests that you have. Not that it's a total clone of you. You need to have a variety, I think, as well, because you learn a lot better from people that have experienced things that you haven't. That's common sense, right? And we're intended to be learning new things. I think if you don't know how to learn new things, especially in this day of age, with the internet, you can find out a lot of things. And you also need to be wary, because there's a lot of fakery and trickery out there. But there's a ton of well-intended information to be had. It's a great time. You know, I say there's thousands of libraries at my fingertips, and I don't have to look through a card catalog. You older folks will know what that is. What, maybe 40 and older? Card catalogs. Google it. No, don't. Search it. Anyway, yeah. Have a good day. Blessings be upon you and your family. Hallelujah.